I like it. Whoever created that has got a good taste. Ooh, look at the glad drip, man. That's like Warlord's mask, innit? That Griffin one. Whoa, look at that. Lawbringer armor, man. Not a fan of Lawbringer, but that is nice. Oh, I like that Warmonger. Yeah, BP was quite nice as well. Oh yes, new Kensei fashion for me. Oh, I love the Armours shirt. Yeah, that is good. Got inside ears, man. Oh wow, look at the Kyoshin. What the fuck? It's literally Havok season. I'm not complaining. Yeah, the Kyoshin was sick. You don't like the Armours shirt? That's what fucking well good. I like the shaman face paint. It's cool. Valkyrie looks cool. The Punisher bundle. Oh, look at his eye. I don't know if you can see it, but his eye's fucking all fucked up, man. It's got a scar on it. That's cool. As much as I don't like Sandy, that's cool. He's blind. Shaolin's fucking blind. You know, she looks fucking evil. Pretty impressed overall with those.
Here's the thing. We're going to be talking about the way that colors blend. Now, this is a masterclass in color. It is not. We're just going to be, surfing over stuff. But the important part to understand is that there are different ways how colors can blend. What we're seeing here is the classic blending of RGB colors that gives you white. It's additive color mixing. Is what you see in old video game puzzles, or even when you're choosing your hair color and when you're editing a character or whatever. It's just, your red, your blue, your green mixing together gives you white. But it's not the only type of color mixing you could have. There's a bunch of different ways how colors can interact. If you grab some paint and you put it all together, you don't end up with white paint. You end up with this grayish brown sludge, Um, so we have our own way how to interact with colorations with the way that
Science class.
the alternate materials work. And yep, this is it. It's the old coloration method. Essentially, the way that it worked is that whatever was gray, or as much as gray as possible, would pick up the alternate material color. And as you get away from gray, you start mixing less and less. And it is a very efficient way to do it. But the problem is that it's assuming that the alternate material color that you're putting on top of yourself is gray. It's great for armors, like for our knights, but when you start adding it on wood or adding it on leather for like, Vikings and samurais, well, it starts acting funky because that stuff isn't gray, it's brown or it's, whatever color was underneath. And a lot of our alternate armor sets also have different coloration. And even our armors, they're not actually all that gray. They're kind of rusty and they're reddish. You can't really tell, but there's some red in there, and it's causing the coloration to look weird. Um, yep, so here we see the old coloration method that if you apply our colors on stuff that's not gray, see, we have some green here that's showing up yellow because of background coloration. Or if we put some blue there, you end up with some pink.
Blue.
Doesn't look right, and that's why the alternate materials always didn't quite look right most of the time. You would choose a particular color, and unless the color was really bright, really saturated, and it would just drown those changes, um, you would end up with like slight discoloration that didn't look quite right. And not only that, it would cause us from not being able to use colors that were, more grayish because, the method mixed gray. So it wasn't working well. So we decided to go with a new method. The new coloration method, what it does is it essentially removes all the coloration before we slap our alternate material on it. We're desaturating the armor or the mesh or whatever's underneath before putting our color in there, so that instead of having some blue here that's giving us some pink, you just end up with blue. It's a slightly more complicated way how to see a coloration method, as it required us to mix our colors using tints and stuff instead of using classic RGB. But it gives us a lot of power, and it permits us in this improvement to get the exact coloration that we want on our armor parts instead of having an approximate kind of color. This change is entirely retroactive, so everybody should look better all of a sudden that's using alternate
That's
materials.
good.
We can see some examples of that right up here right now. Everything that's the colors that are more muted and more close to gray are the ones that'll see the most benefits. Um, this change is also going to permit us to make some of the colors that are not as blasted, super saturated, and go with,
I'm pretty
more
happy about
natural
that.
colors that will mix better on our armors rather than go with like full white and full pink and full, go with some nicer, more muted colors that'll work better on all of our characters instead of just working on knights.
Mm,
No, nice,
cool.
they work pretty well already because, the armor was pretty close to gray, but